I've been in courtrooms in not only Fort Wayne, Muncie, surrounding counties, but when that felon is before you, let's just deal with payments, they're in the system currently. Let's not deal with the ones that's out 5 years, 10 years, just currently. I believe that the judge's seat has influence, especially in that county. So what programs are definitely coming from your courtroom? We understand the United Way, different programs in the city, but what program do you have endorsed? Like, I believe this, I believe that the court can have so many businesses, so many Menards or Lowe's that you already have the relationship because of the influence that you have. And so right now we're paying at our church a girl's probation $50 a week because she is looking for a job. She was caught stealing and so forth, but it still does not reflect them saying you're hired. So is there something being done, and maybe this is the question first, for the current judge, is there something already in motion that you have already had the relationships between employers, so you can say to someone, go to Menards, they accept. Are you following what I'm saying? So that's my question. Can I just start with you?
Well, let's begin with the issue of probation fines and costs and user fees and all that. There's a way to get those set aside if a person is indigent. I would never and have never revoked anybody's probation because they haven't paid their fines, court costs, or their program fees, nor have I ever revoked anyone to my knowledge who did not get a job if they honestly have tried to get a job. If they just sit on their duff at home watching television or running the streets and aren't looking for a job, then we have a problem. But if they honestly are looking for a job, I'm not gonna pull their probation. That's insane. It's almost like a debtor's prison. There's a program involved, when I worked with when I was an attorney, the people, and I dealt in the federal criminal justice system, the probation officers there had lots of contacts, at least one in particular had lots of contacts with employers, and he had an opportunity, he knew where to send these folks. There's a program, Blue Jacket Inc., you see it as you go down in the old Sears building down there by Rudisell and Clinton Street. They teach job skills, they try and get a person cleaned up so they know how to apply for a job, they have clothing and all that. They have, I believe, the opportunity and contacts in order to get a job. Me personally, no. I don't have anything like that in place. I'm gonna be straight up with you. I don't think I have that kind of influence. I don't have that kind of influence. A lot of people think we have more power than we do. I don't have that kind of power. I don't think either of my colleagues do either.
Pastor Lynch, you and I have talked about this because one of my passions, obviously, if elected, is to try to put in motion some of those types of programs. I think one of the things that judges can do, and that's not to say that the current judges, haven't done their job, but I think as crime changes and problems change and people change, our system has to change. I do think we as judges, one of the things that I see down the road that would be awesome if I was on the bench is to put together a task force, and in that task force would be business owners, maybe barbershop owners, people that are involved in the community, people that own businesses and run businesses, because those are the same tax-paid people that are complaining about our system and crime on the increase and that kind of thing. And when you bring those people together in a collaborative effort, obviously I have a lot of connections because I'm in the labor and employment world with a lot of companies, but it's not because of my influence. It is not that I have any influence, I'm probably like the judge, but the fact that if you reach out to the community and bring together some of those individuals, leaders in the ministry, and people that have connections, then you can better off say, what can we do? What can be done? Throwing everybody in prison is not the answer if they're not there, or if they're not supposed to be there. Putting them on probation is not the answer if they go back into a community where they reoffend. So it's this middle ground, this alternative sentencing that judges do have a lot of ability to make change, to put into motion new types of, when I say programs, whether they're task force, whether they're people like yourself, Pastor Lynch, that can come to the table with other business owners and other people in the community and say, okay, now, let's all take ownership, and as a judge, I will help, or whoever the judge will be, I will help implement this to ensure these same problems do not continue to reoccur, because that's where the problem lies. And when I look into our community right now, only because, you know, we've got more gangs coming in, we've got more younger people coming into adult court. I mean, when I look back at the past 2 years of the shootings I have tried, and the felonies I have tried, and the guns I have tried, they are not, you know, 45-year-olds typically. They are 18, 19, 20-year-olds who still could have a life ahead of them if we can get them early and really try to figure out solutions to the violent crime and some of the criminal activity that we see. I know that that was done a lot in Texas, and there was a good system in place for that. So, you know, if we can bring some of those innovative ideas here and move it forward as our crime and community changes, I think it would be